Gary Lombardo.
Hi, and I'm Mama Lombardo.
And welcome to the Cooking with Mama Lombardo show. This is episode 2. And we had a great kickoff to our season last time with making some...
A lot of nice comments we got.
That's right.
Yeah, everybody's happy that they saw the sauce being made. And now we're going to be doing what?
Pizza! One of my favorites. So we're starting off with all the staples, right? All the basics.
Right. Actually, everybody likes pizza, and they all want it. The sauce. And
yeah. So we start with the foundational items from the Italian kitchen, from things that we grew up with. So pizza's on tap for today. So tell us a little bit about your pizza recipe.
It's something that my sister-in-laws, they all tried to make pizzas when they first got married. So we all kind of like this recipe.
Good,
yeah.
But the original recipe came over from your mother, who made a little bit of a thicker Sicilian crust,
she made more of
right?
a Sicilian pizza that was thick, and
but you've modified it.
I did, because everybody wants it thin.
Yeah, so we like what's great about Mama Lombardo's pizza is it's really thin, classic crust. You go to Sicily, where we come from, it's a little bit thicker, although you do find very good thinner crust actually made very much in the ovens and brick ovens. Here, we don't have a brick oven. We're going to use a regular oven, but still it comes out, very good quality, very similar quality. So in Sicily, you find thick crust, but also thin crust, which you'll see today.
I know. And then in the old days, they didn't use all that mozzarella that they put in today. It was more like the tomato, onions, and cheese.
Yeah, well, that's a good point. It's actually simple. I think one of the things that you see in pizzas today, especially here in the U.S., is in North America, I guess, is a lot of stuff on the pizza. Pineapple, right?
I know.
Who puts pineapple on a pizza?
Chicken.
So it's really simple, right?
Yeah.
Maybe some mushrooms, some prosciutto, some peppers, and
right.
That's about it. I think it's classic simplicity at its best, which is really what this show's all about.
Right.
So should we get started?
Yeah, we could start making the flour, the dough.
So we're going to start off, make the dough first. We're going to let it rise. After it rises, we'll separate it out, and then we'll let it rise a little bit more for 10 minutes.
And then I'll show you how.
Then we'll actually make the pizza. We'll spread it out, bake it, and get going.
Yeah, and I'll heat up the oven and everything.
All right, let's get going. I can't wait to eat it.
Uh-oh. Hi, it's me again. I'm going to put 6 cups of flour in my pan here. That was 4. This is 6. And then we're going to put, what was it, a tablespoon? Tablespoon? Or teaspoon. It was a teaspoon of salt. That's about a teaspoon. And a tablespoon of some sugar.
All right, so you'd put in a tablespoon of salt and a teaspoon of sugar with 6 cups of flour. That's what you get so far.
Right.
Great. Okay.
Yeah. Now I'm going to put oil, my olive oil, which I got a quarter of a cup. I usually just pour it in here, but I'm going to try to measure it and see if it's not enough. That was a quarter of a cup. So if I just pour some more in there.
There you go, just a little bit more. So that's probably, that's probably a little over a quarter of a cup.
Yeah,
so almost close to a half cup.
So now I'll just stir this in, and leave that for a minute. And I'm going to have 2.5 cups of lukewarm water for my yeast.
And those are 2 1-ounce
packs
of yeast,
of the
right?
dried yeast, yeah.
Okay, and then you're going to add 2.5 cups of
lukewarm water.
Stir that in together?
I'm stirring it with the water.
Okay. And does it need to sit for a while, or you just make sure it's all mixed in?
Yeah, you make it sit for a minute. It shouldn't take long.
All right. So while you're stirring it in, it's kind of settling together.
Yeah. Yeah, it's all nice. There you go. Okay. Now, I don't pour it in all at once. Just a little at a time. Just see how it goes. And keep stirring. Yeah. More. Yeah.
So why do you do it a little at a time? Just so it kind of evens out a bit more?
Yeah, it's better because you never know. One time I did it and it just was too much water. I don't know why, but it just, that's the way I do it anyway. It just,
we should have mentioned too, this is for about 3 to 4 pizza doughs, right?
Yeah,
So, which is
yeah.
quite, a big quantity. So if you actually want to cut down on the number of pizzas you make, just say you want to make 1, then just follow this recipe, cut everything down by 2/3, basically. But this is enough for 3 to 4. We don't do anything in small quantities in the Lombardo household, at least from Mama Lombardo's recipes.
Yeah, so it's getting there.
There you go. Look at that. Looks pretty sticky now.
Yeah, and you might have to add a little flour or a little bit more of the water. See, that's kind of sticky, but I will put, let me see, here's my flour.
So why are you adding more flour? How do you know?
Oh, just because it's kind of sticky and I still have some of that.
Okay, so you just added just a little bit of more flour to kind of absorb some more of that water, or plus you knew you had some more water in there. So again, it's not an exact science; it's more of an art here.
Yeah. Okay, now I think it's going to add up to 8 cups. I think because I had too much water, maybe.
A little bit of this, a little bit of that. So we've increased the cups, and it's probably closer to, at this point, maybe 7 or 8.
Yeah.
7.5 cups. I wouldn't say 8, but. How long do you have to knead it for?
About 5 minutes.
Yeah, until it's really consistent, would you say?
Yeah.
Just all the way through?
Usually I like to do it in my sink, believe it or not, because my arms would be... Okay.
I want to shake your hand right now.
You want to shake my hand? I just punch down. Just keep punching down in the same pan, like that. This, I remember my aunt doing it this way, because she lived with us, and I saw her the way she did it.
Yeah, which aunt was this?
Aunt Medina.
Aunt Medina. I remember her. She lived with us in our house.
Yeah, and she just turn it around. And I think this dough came a little stickier than I should have done, but usually it doesn't do that. But it's working out. There we go. Yeah, she used to punch it down like this. Okay, so now it's done. It's a good point right now. What I did was I had to use flour because it was too wet, and I kept turning it over. I would turn it over like that, and there. That's it.
That's a lot of dough.
Well, I think this is going to make four pizzas.
Yeah, I think we're probably closer to 4 at this point, which is fine by me. The more pizza, the better.
And then I just cover it up with my cloth, which I use. This is the only cloth I use.
And why do you put the cloth on there?
It's going to rise. It just stays.
It just helps with the rise. Does it help with the rising process?
Yeah, but it stays nice and moist. You know, it won't stick like.
And so you put it on in a warm spot.
Yeah.
And how long does it stay there for?
Oh, I think an hour and a half, maybe.
Okay, so we let it rise for about an hour and a half, and
Yeah.
then we're going to come back and and we'll separate it out.
Okay, and then we'll make our pizza. Okay, I put a little oil in this pan. This is an 18 by 12 pan, and what I do with the oil is I rub it, and I make it, just enough to coat it, not to make it too greasy. And this pan is black purposely because when you do it with a black pan, it cooks better. It makes it.
How did it get
makes
black?
It more crisp. Well, through the years, it just became dark.
Just through usage, right?
Through
So it's not
usage.
it's not that it's not clean. It's just
no,
through
no.
wear
It's just wear. Yeah.
yeah, and you're saying
Yeah.
that the pizza kind of
Right.
bakes a little bit better
Yeah,
because of
and
that.
I heat my tomato. I use the kitchen ready tomato.
So you use a
and
28 ounce can
and
of kitchen
I
ready.
heat it up before I use it, because the dough rises in my pan. Then when it rises, I separated it and made 4 balls over here, and I covered it up, and about 10-15 minutes later the balls were ready to be used.
So each one makes one individual pizza.
Yeah. Okay, I got the dough, and this is one of the balls that I made. You can make 4 pizzas out of what I did today, and I already made one. And
So you take the ball and you start spreading it out on the pan like this?
yeah, I do. It kind of spreads pretty easy, but you know, I don't know how this is gonna do.
So you just gently move it, make sure there's you
Yeah.
don't tear it. What happens if you tear it?
Well, you could patch it. It'll be okay. It'll be okay.
You just patch it by kind of just
Yeah.
taking some more dough and covering it up. And,
Yeah, it'll be fine.
okay, so you stretch it out
So
over the
I'm
whole.
stretching it.
This is a good sized pan, so it's about
Yeah.
18 inches by 12 and about an inch thick. Although
Mhm.
the pizza certainly won't get an inch thick.
Okay, and like I said before, my mother used to put cheese on there.
So that's like Romano cheese.
That's Romano's. It kind of helps it to spread. I find it does that, you know. That's just another little hint, you know. And
So you just a handful,
Yeah.
sprinkle the cheese on there, stretch it
Yeah.
out all along the corners,
right,
throw some more cheese on.
just a little, yeah.
So you can see it's a pretty thin crust here. This is
Well, when it gets
particularly
into the
thin.
oven, it's gonna rise again, I think. So I think this is good enough. It doesn't have to be perfect, you know. Sometimes it doesn't reach all the way, but it'll be fine. So already I got the cheese, and what I'm gonna do is put my garlic. I use garlic.
How many
on my
cloves?
Well, I think 1 or 2.
So a couple cloves diced up.
Well,
so you
not
can
on one pizza. I make enough so I can.
Oh, I see. Okay,
Yeah.
so it's like 2 or 3 cloves
Yeah.
over the overall 4 pizzas.
Right.
Okay, so you just kind of mince
Yeah.
it and then sprinkle it on there.
I do, but
Depending upon how much garlic you like. If you like
yeah,
more,
and
just
if you
throw
don't
more.
like it, don't put it. Yeah. So everybody seems to
I highly,
like it.
I highly recommend it.
Okay, and now.
Now you can make it plain, or sometimes we like to put stuff on it. Oh, you're gonna put the sauce on first. Here we go.
Sure.
And again, this is about 28 ounces of kitchen ready pastina tomato that goes over the 4 pizzas. So it looks like you can see here. You just spoon some on.
Sometimes you have a little leftover tomato. You know.
Then you just spread it across. You make sure you get good coverage over the whole thing.
Yeah. I mean, I don't like to put too much sauce either. But
Yeah, I mean, a good sauce really makes the pizza, but you don't want to overdo it
Yeah.
with sauce for sure.
right.
So just to have enough on there.
And this is roasted peppers.
Yeah, we usually don't put much on it, but we're putting some roasted peppers and some mushrooms today.
Yeah.
Make it a little bit different. You can just make it plain.
Okay, that's good. And now I need to put my cheese on.
And this is, your classic mozzarella cheese, right?
Yeah, I like
So
to
you get it already kind of
yeah, it's all
pre-grated.
cut,
Yeah. So you can get the fresh stuff too. That works, but
Oh, sure.
yeah. But here we got some whole milk mozzarella
Yeah.
cheese that's already been grated. Just a little bit easier to use and to do. But the fresh stuff's good too if you just kind of
Oh,
grate
yeah,
it and then
that's
throw it
good.
on there. So we've used that as well. So,
A pepper. Let me put a little bit of salt. I don't oversalt it because the cheese is salty. and my oregano. And I put a drop of oil on top, and I just kind of run it around the edges like that, and maybe 1 or 2. That's it. Okay, it's ready for the oven.
So ready to put it in the oven?
Yeah.
All right. Put it in there. How long do we leave it in for?
Well, 10-15 minutes, maybe 10-15 minutes. Okay, halfway through, I kind of lifted and turned my pan around so it'll cook the other way around.
And why are you lifting it up? Just to make sure it's not burning?
Yeah, and then I just turn it around too. Yeah, I think this is ready.
Look at that. How do you know when it's ready?
Well, it looks ready to me. I don't know.
Just it gets browned, you mean,
Yeah,
on top?
but it, you know,
So nice
if
and
it was up high in the oven, it would have browned better.
so you know it's ready when it's nice and browned and crisp on the outside.
Right. Okay.
Just using a standard pizza cutter, cutting it into squares, right? And you cut it any way you want, I guess, but
Yeah, you can
usually.
make them as big as you want.
That looks great. I can't wait to taste it. All right, let's dig in.
Hey.
So here we are. Let's dig in. I like my corner pieces because they get nice and crispy on the outside too. So,
Salud.
so
Salud a tutti.
A tutti.
A tutti.
All right, yummy pizza.
Yummy wine.
And mama.
Mamma mia.
And while we enjoy our pizza, we want to thank you for joining us on the second episode of Cooking with Mama Lombardo. Be sure to check out the blog and the site at www.mamalombardo.com. And we'll be back soon and making the next recipe, so please join us.